Welcome to this 45-minute all levels flow. We, as in any class, have permission, you, to do whatever you need to do to take care of your body. So different positions, different shapes, modifications, prop usage, whatever you need to do, please, I encourage you to listen to your body, turn inward, or feel on the very outside of the body how you feel, and pay attention. You're always welcome to sit in child's pose. You can come to Shavasana, your resting pose, at any point, and just honor your body. And welcome to practice. You know all the cues to find that nice tall spine. Draw your shoulders back, down a little bit. We'll start here with some breath. So if you're searching for more grounding, place your palms face down on your thighs. More receptivity, palms face up. Or a more internal kind of awareness, one palm to your heart, one palm to your belly. And then as we become aware of where we are here in space, in our physical body, tune in a little bit more, drop in a little bit deeper, and let the breath increase. Encouraging longer exhales, bringing more calm into the mind and into the body. And then notice any strain or tightness in the brow, around the eye sockets, even in the ears and the cheeks, and allow that to soften. By softening these edges, we give more exposure into the more authentic self and into the pillar of strength that's been there all along. A pillar of strength that we need to come back to in order to face the world that we each individually live in and the world we hope to change. And I've said this quote all week, but I believe it deserves repetition. Okumba Sauti said, "Your yoga practice should not bring calm and comfort in the state of an oppressive society. Rather, it should empower and enlighten you to dismantle it." And so perhaps what we're feeling, what we're facing, or whatever it is you're connecting with now, requires this coming back to center. Is what I know in my own life, that it's hard to think about something so big, whether it be COVID or riots, any other state of the world, political, or our own individual sufferings, that in order to face these and move forward, there must be this coming back to center in order to face that. So in Buffalo and Sparrow, that's the sparrow's job. The sparrow guides and protects, provides community and wisdom, and whispers to the buffalo when it's safe to face the storm. Open your jaw and shift it around a few times, letting all that tension release. And then we're going to take 5 more breaths of really focused intentionality. So what we do know is that what we have in our mind translates into our body. So if the mind is agitated, the body follows suit. And so we're going to focus these next 5 breaths on the intention of the mind that we hope to have so that our body can follow suit. And I'll be quiet as we do so. After that last breath has left the body, you can release whatever hand variation you had and work into your shoulders just a bit. Small movements before we make the big ones. And then remove your prop if you had one. We're going to work into tabletop position, finding that square shape with the floor. Fingertips spread really wide. We'll flow through a couple of cat-cows just to recognize where our spine is at today. So really becoming aware of what we're feeling in the body and being cautious not to attach any negative labeling to that. So if something feels sticky, stiff, cold, hot, rigid, let those be the descriptors rather than icky, bad, or any of those negative connotations. Just giving the body an opportunity to work towards healing, the mindset working with the body. Find a nice flat back. From here, we're gonna do some rib rolls with the spine. So inhale, reach your right arm all the way up as the ribs spiral towards the right. Exhale, thread the needle as you dive under. The right side of your head's gonna come to the ground. And then we're gonna flow a couple times between these two shapes. Inhale, open up. Exhale, dive under. Deep breath in, open. And full breath out, thread the needle and pause. And maybe you shift your hips here just a bit. And then in each pose, navigating the internal landscape as well as what you feel in the physical body. As that's your doorway. Inhale, come up. Reach the arm all the way up towards the sky. Exhale down. Breathe in, left arm rises, ribs spiral up. Breathe away, thread the needle. And then we flow these two shapes, breathing in, roll open. Breathe out, thread under. Inhale, roll open. And exhale, thread and hold here for a couple of breaths. And in the intentionality that you had in your 5 breaths, find a breath mantra that aligns with that. So maybe it is I am calm, or I am centered, or I am strong, I am empowered, I can make change. Any of those, or something else that aligns with the intention of your mentality. Inhale, lift the left arm all the way back up. And exhale back into tabletop. Plant your hands, a handprint forward, spread your fingertips really wide. Press your hips back and up, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet and shift your hips. And then walk your feet into a shorter down dog. More of an acute angle. And take your left hand, reach it all the way towards your right something. So it can be your knee, your shin, your ankle, or it can even be on the floor, just reaching towards that right ankle. And then pull into that connection point to look underneath your right armpit and twist a lot through the spine. Twisting feels like renewal for me. It feels like I'm rinsing out everything that I don't need, so that when I come out of the twist, I'm renewed and I'm a little bit freer and lighter. Inhale, place your left hand back down. Exhale, other side, right hand to left something. Pull into that leg and look under now the left armpit. Keep your breath drawing in nice and deep. Your breath sends you right to center. Love that. It's our easiest, most accessible tool in times of stress, in times of anxiety, in times of heaviness, in times of whatever it may be. The breath is there. Inhale, unwind. Walk your feet up into a forward fold. Option to take your hands and interlace them at the base of your head, right at your occipital lobe, and let your elbows hang.
You can do that, or you can take a different arm variation if that's calling to you. And maybe you make some small movements in the feet so you can feel into the legs and the hips. And then soften in through the jaw. This is a great pose to calm the mind. The blood rush to the head helps silence some of that busyness. Release whatever arm variation you had, and then take a breath in, lift into a flat back. Nice and straight. Exhale, release down. Breathe in, press into your feet, and reach your arms all the way up. Breathing out, hands to your heart. Take just a couple breaths. Give yourself a moment. And then as we move forward, give yourself what you need. So if that's backing out or pushing forward into a pose, honor your body. Listen and kind of follow into the achings of your practice. Breathe in deep, reach your hands all the way up towards the sky. Breathe out, sit into chair pose, weight is in your heels. Hug your low belly in and your low ribs. Glide into your toes. Let your practice refine. Good, and then as you exhale, plant your palms, step into higher kneeling plank, and then gently bend into your elbows to your belly or to chaturanga, that's up to you. Breathing in to roll your chest off of the mat, cobra or up dog. And then exhale, we'll come into downward facing dog, whether you press up through kneeling plank or go right there from up dog. Breathe in deep, right heel all the way up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it in between your hands. We're finding warrior one, reach your arms up high. Right hip pulls back. Good, just for a second, drop in and notice what you feel. Just honor the body and the practice with that bit of awareness, rather than just, okay, warrior one, but no, okay, what am I feeling in warrior one? Internally and in the very physicality of my body. Then we'll vinyasa through. Breath out, high plank, low plank or belly. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, coming right into the left heel, rising up into three-legged dog. Breath in. Breath away, step it through. Warrior one. Back heel spins down. Become aware of this side of the body. Does it feel different? And was there awareness on the first side that you actually can detect a difference on the second side? And the answer can be no. Sometimes the meditative flow takes us out of the physicality of the body, and that's okay. Just stay with the breath. Stay with the refinement. And then exhale, palms to the earth, higher kneeling plank. Breath in. As you breathe away, bend into your elbows, low plank or belly. Breathe in, heart opener. Exhale, downward facing dog. This is where we're going to stay for a couple breaths. We're going to work into some small refinements within the pose. So spread your fingertips really wide and let your chest open up if your shoulders feel safe. And then feel a length from your sit bones all the way down to your Achilles. Or perhaps you feel it somewhere else if it's not there. Especially if you're super tight somewhere, especially in the hips, you might feel it in the hips. So notice where you feel when your heels start to soften towards the floor. Permission to feel whatever and wherever you feel it. Next breath in, look forward as the knees soften. Breath away, walk towards your hands. We're right back in a forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, chair pose. Arms reach up. Glide into the toes, heavy into the heels. Become aware of your shoulders. 2 more breaths. The hip creases are going back and down. Then inhale, reach for length all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart for a moment. Close your eyes. Where's your breath mantra? Perhaps bring that in here. The deepest parts of you are strong and good and capable. Good, and then on your breath in, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Breathe in deep to a flat back and breathe out fully to downward facing dog. Inhale your right heel all the way up and back, and exhale, step it in between your hands. We're gonna spin the back heel down. We're coming right back into warrior one. Right leg lifted, arms all the way up overhead. Sit deep into your lunge. And then interlace your hands behind the small of your back. Press your knuckles down to open and lift your chest. Maybe your gaze even comes up. Another inhale. And exhale, warrior one. So you're going to dive down to the inside of your leg here. Allow your arms to find some sort of a release here, whether it's just letting them drop up and over or doing some shoulder shrugs. Any tension that's held in the neck and shoulders, encourage that to soften. Press your knuckles up and back to pull yourself all the way up, right back into warrior one, and then lengthen through that front leg. Good. Reach your hands forward as your hips go back. We're going to pause in a halfway lift here. Engaging a lot through the left kneecap so we're not locking out the left knee. Think about left hip crease pulling back as you reach your arms towards the front of your mat. Maybe even like you're arching through your low back to send your hips towards the back of the mat. And then exhale, fold all the way down. And we'll take a couple of halfway lifts. So if you need blocks for your hands, you can grab them. Otherwise, inhale onto your fingertips, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, knee to nose-ish. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Last time, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. You can free up that back heel and bend back into your right leg. Come all the way up into crescent lunge. In crescent lunge, grab onto your left wrist, push up towards the sky, and side bend over to the right. Sink a little deeper in your hips. Good. Inhale, reach both arms all the way back up. Exhale, palms to the earth, downward facing dog. All right, from here, left heel reaches all the way up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through. We're going to align for warrior one as we come all the way up. Warrior one, soften your shoulders. Left hip back, and then interlace your hands at the small of the back. Press your knuckles down. Open and lift your chest, and again, perhaps the gaze comes up. Just feel that for a second. When you come into your next exhale, start to bow to the inside of your leg, right back into humble warrior. Sometimes postures represent intentions for me too. And this feels like whatever I need to set aside in order for my true self, my strong self to come forward, I will set aside. Whether that be a mindset or too many things I put on my plate. Press your knuckles back to rise all the way up, super strong in the legs, coming back up through warrior one, and then you're going to lengthen through that front leg. Maybe identifying with a sense of relief right there as the leg begins to lengthen. Then right from here, we're gonna reach up and out of the pelvis with the upper body to fold forward until we come halfway. Hugging that left hip back, reach your fingertips forward, and remember not to lock out that left leg. Sending the hips back and the fingertips forward, crown of the head forward. Soften your jaw. Connect with that deep breath again. Refining to center. Good, and then gently your hands can come all the way down to the mat. Square your hips once more, left hip back, right hip forward. Take a breath in, lift halfway up onto fingertips or blocks. Exhale, fold knee to nose. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Last time, breathe in deep, lift halfway. Sit bones back, crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold. Lift up that back heel and bend into your front knee. Come all the way up into crescent lunge. As the hips go deep, let the ribs go up. And then grab onto that right wrist. Press it up and all the way over to the left. Maybe you identify with length here in the hip flexor or in the side body or even along the arm or all of the above. Good, next breath in, release the arms all the way up and exhale, hands come down to the mat, downward facing dog. Good, perhaps you pedal a bit. Good, working into the next sequence, lift the right heel all the way up and back, right back into three-legged dog, inhale. Exhale, step it in between your hands, spiral your back foot down. Front heel intersects your back arch, and then windmill the arms up. We're in warrior two. Soften your shoulders down. Squeeze the inner heels towards center, maybe looking over that front hand. What does this pose represent for you? Even the very name, warrior, warrior one. It's a great TED Talk by Amy Cuddy that talks about the way we shape our body and how we hold our body helps us to feel stronger and different. Good, interlace your hands at the small of your back. Press them down, open up. Inhale. Exhale, now we're in humble warrior two. So you're gonna bow down any amount, it might just be halfway, just for 2 breaths. At any point, if you need to lengthen your right leg for reprieve, you have the freedom to do that. And then the arms are gonna come down. I need to lengthen that leg for a moment. And we're coming into warrior dog. So it's warrior two in the feet and then downward facing dog in the upper body. So we're bowing down to the upper right-hand corner of the mat. So what Amy Cuddy's kind of research showed was when you stand tall and proud, you feel tall and proud, and then you act and manifest tall and proud. So it can be so great about our yoga practice. Very briefly, we're going to come into a wide forward fold. And just let the head sink down. Notice where you feel this pose. Good, and then lifting up into a halfway lift to free us up to walk back over to frame the right foot. Back knee is going to come down, so if you want to blanket, go ahead and grab it. This is the last pose on this side if you're feeling fatigued on that right leg. Bring your arms all the way up, Anjaneyasana. I'm going to give you the choice if you want to keep pulling up and back with the hips or if you want to soften down and forward. They're different poses and different benefits, so your choice. And then we're gonna either prayer twist or T-twist. So either drive the elbow to the outside of your knee or open up your arms to a T. So that's whichever feels better in your body. It's a very real sense of wringing out everything that doesn't need to be retained within the body. Twists are so good for anxiety, so I do them a lot. We're going to take 2 more breaths right here. Maybe leverage into your twist just a hair more. And then arms up, shoulders square to the front of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, plant the palms, downward facing dog. Breathe in, left heel up and back, 3-legged. Breathe out, step it through, spin the back heel down. We're in warrior 2 in the legs, and then we windmill up, warrior 2 in the arms. Sinking the hips down, rolling the shoulders back, perhaps looking over your front fingertips. Feel strong on this side. Recognize that inner strength exhibiting through the outer pose. Or perhaps you access it the opposite way. Recognize this outer pose of strength and internalize it because it is there. Your breath is all you need to focus on here. And then we interlace the hands behind the back. Maybe it's the awkward way, the opposite way. Press the knuckles down, open up through the chest, breath in, and then exhale, bow down any amount. In this pose, my anatomy just allows me to go about halfway. Everybody's put together differently. Just a couple more breaths. And then the arms come down to the floor, warrior dog. So keep the foundation of your pose the same, but your upper body is in downward facing dog at a diagonal. Be in the very breath you're in. You're just here on the inhale. You're just here on the exhale. I'm just breathing in. And I'm just breathing out. Wide forward fold. Recognize if that felt like a release or not. Whatever it felt like, just honor it. And then take a moment to feel the wide forward fold. Even if you need or want to make some small movements within it, that's always an option. What I've been sitting with is that whatever change I want to see starts with me. And I can't change anything if I'm not whole, or I can't effectively with any sort of longevity. That's why our yoga practice is so good, coming back to the mat so that we can become stronger for the world around us. We can almost be filled up so that we can face the rest of the day, the rest of the week. Take a breath in, lifting halfway. That's going to free us up to walk and frame the left foot. And then eventually back knee down. Arms all the way up overhead. Again, same options in the hips. Either pulling in and up with the hips or softening down and forward. Figuring out what feels best in your body there. Shoulders soften. Beautiful breath, long and deep. Then you decide if you want that T-twist or hooking the elbow to the outside of the left knee. Right elbow to outside of left knee. Wring it out. Even bring an inner body twist, so you're squeezing into your core to squeeze leverage into your twist. My yoga practice is often sustainability for me, or maintenance. It's like a drink of water throughout the day. I have to have it in order to feel better. I need to have it in order to keep going. The refinement of mind, body, and soul. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, palms come to the earth. And this time we're simply just going to step your back knee to meet, or front knee to meet your back knee. Sitting back into child's pose for a moment. Taking any variation of child's pose you need. So knees together, knees apart, whatever works for your body. Even your arms can have a variation down by your side or praying behind your head. What does this pose bring up for you? Sit with that. I honor you, body. I honor you, mind. I honor you, spirit, wherever you are, whatever state you're in. I honor you so that I can grow, so that I can strengthen. I'll take 3 more breaths right here. If your awareness allows, become in tuned to the energies that you feel that are outside of yourself. Maybe it's the grounding energy of the floor, the cooling energy of the air. Perhaps it's collective energy that you feel, whether it be hope or sorrow. Good, and then from here, we're going to come all the way to the belly. So just gently transition there in as many small or big movements as you need to. And we're going to prop up to Sphinx pose. So right here on the elbows underneath shoulders, parallel forearms and fingertips spread wide. We're going to start with bringing the left heel in towards the glute. And then leaning more over to the right so we can clasp onto the top of the foot. And if that connection isn't happening, that's okay. It doesn't have to. You can just bend into the knee, and that's going to bring length into your quadricep either way. It's just a deeper stretch if the connection is made. And then make sure you're pressing into the right elbow a lot so you're not dumping into the right shoulder. Keep your gaze down so the back of your neck is long. And then connect with where you're feeling the pose. There's awareness. Does my intention need to be to bring more space into where I'm feeling this? Or more strength? And then left hand down, we're going to switch sides. Right heel bends. Right hand makes the clasp to the foot. We press down any amount. This side could be totally different. And gently releasing your leg back towards the earth. Take a couple breaths just in Sphinx. Identifying with the core strength, so pulling up from belly button all the way through the sternum and the front of the face, drawing your shoulders back. And then gently start to lower as your hands slide to your upper outer ribs. It's like we want to go into cobra pose. And then we'll slowly start to lift into cobra pose as the shoulders roll up and the hips root down into the earth. But your hands are going to come about 1 inch or 2 off the ground. So it's just going to bring a little more engagement into the back body. And you can always plant your hands back down if this feels like too much. Notice the back of your neck. Try to keep that long. Gaze down at the floor.
And then hands do come down now. We lift again into Cobra Pose, but it's supported by the hands. Inhale. Exhale, forehead to the ground. Interlace your hands behind you. So I guess this is kind of a theme of the class, interlacing the hands. Press the knuckles back, lift up, either keeping your feet down or option to pull them up off the ground into full locust pose. Remember, long back of your neck, squeezing your shoulder blades together and pressing the knuckles towards the feet. Where do you feel this? Is it just in the body or is it somewhere else too? What's coming up for you? We're going to take 3 more breaths. Soften somewhere in the face. Last one. Crocodile pose. So forehead comes to forearms, and you can open up your feet wider than your hips here. And just take a few nourishing breaths into your belly, into your back body, into wherever you feel needs more space and release. And that could very well be your mind. Sending the breath to your mind. And because the earth is so grounding, it's one of those tools that's available to us. So in this pose where the front body is fully connected to the ground, maybe we draw in some of that strength, stability, energy, groundedness. Good. Then from here, we're going to gently make our way to the back. So, graceful or not, make your way there. And I always like a pose that lengthens the spine after I do belly down back bends. So we'll do 2 of those. First, bridge pose. So soles of the feet to the ground, closer to your hips so that your heels are under your knees. Tuck your shoulders under. And then when you're ready, your breath in rises your hips up. Roll to the inner edges of your feet just as much as you are the outer edges and your heels. And then maybe we keep with that theme and we interlace the hands. Pushing down into the pinky sides of the hands, the forearms and the triceps to lift a little higher. And imagine that you've just kind of clicked every vertebrae into alignment right here. It's at a diagonal, but it's straight. So looking for that length as the knees reach forward, the heels draw back energetically. And then slowly lower from neck bone to tailbone all the way down to the earth. And we'll take happy baby, or if you want to take butterfly, supine Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, knees out. I'm going to take happy baby. I feel that when I grab onto my feet and then intentionally roll the tailbone down towards the ground, that gives me more space in the low back. So it may be different in your body, but in whatever pose or variation you chose, search for back body length. Even if that means you need to make some movements or refinements or adjustments. We'll be here for 3 to 5 breaths, so take your time and notice where you're feeling things. Let your breath be your guide, kind of like your flashlight, enlightening you where to go, where to spend more time, where to search deeper. And then whenever you're ready, allow your legs to come all the way down into Shavasana. And you can switch up your pose for Shavasana. If you don't want your back on the ground, you can do whatever you'd like. So same thing as we started with class. Palms face up for reception, palms face down for grounding, or one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly for internal awareness and taking care of the internal body. And then gently release all the muscles and the security of the ground below you. And perhaps before you slip fully into your Shavasana, you can mentally connect with the five senses. So what do you see if your eyes are open, or if they're closed, you can even do the mind's eye. What do I see in my mind's eye or the back of my eyelids? And then what do I hear? It's bringing me right into this present moment. What do I hear outside of my voice? Is it my own breath? What do I feel, right? The sense of touch. What am I smelling? And what's the taste that's lingering in my mouth? And once you've identified what those five senses are for you specifically, then let the mind slip into a little more meditative space, just absorbing your practice. Ask mind, body, and soul to give you what it needs so that you find freedom, so that you find strength, and so that you remember that you're whole. Take another deeper breath right into your belly. And let it go out your mouth. Begin to make small movements in your fingers and toes as you work into some stretches that your body's calling for, and some movements. Eventually drawing your knees in towards your chest, making your way onto your side, fetal position. What is it that comes up for you here in this pose? Just notice and honor. And then as you're ready, use your top arm to help press you back into a seat. Keeping a soft gaze or your eyes closed if that feels comfortable. Place one hand to your heart and your other hand to your heart. And feel this heartbeat, whether it's fast or slow. Find some gratitude for that. This heart that keeps you alive without you asking a thing. And then exhale all the breath out. Breathe in deep for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And out the mouth, release.
Everything's let go. Bow your chin towards your chest. As you move away from your mat today, may you feel empowered, a little more back to center, back to self, back to courage, and back to strength. And may you remember that anytime you feel depleted, this tall glass of water, aka your yoga mat, is here for you. Your breath is here for you. Your internal strength is there. You just need to be reminded. It's been my honor and my joy to practice with you today. Thank you for showing up with courage on your mat.